Hello and welcome to It's Tomorrow News. I am Dhyana Bhavsar. One dead, building damaged in 7.4 earthquake in Indonesia, tsunami warning lifted. A major 7.4 magnitude quake struck off the coast of eastern Indonesia on Thursday, killing at least one person, causing waves up to 75 centimeters.
The ground moved, and in that moment, nothing else mattered. No plans, no schedules, no control, just movement, rot, violent, unstoppable. Some people thought it would stop in a second. It didn't. Some thought it was just another tremor. It wasn't, because beneath the surface of Indonesia, something powerful had already been set in motion, a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. And by the time people realized what was happening, it was already too late to prepare. The first seconds, where everything breaks, the first few seconds decide everything. You don't think, you react. The ground begins to shake, not gently, but with force. Walls vibrate, glass rattles, objects fall. And in those moments, your brain struggles to catch up with reality. Because the one thing you trust the most, the ground is no longer stable. People rush outside, some stumble, some fall, others freeze. Unable to process the chaos around them, children cry, voices rise. And then the shaking gets stronger, not weaker, stronger. Beneath the ocean, the real origin miles beneath the ocean floor, two massive tectonic plates had been locked together for years. Pressure building slowly, silently, until it reached a breaking point. And when it finally slipped, it didn't just move rock, it moved the earth itself. The seabed shifted. And that movement transferred energy into the ocean above. This is where the real danger begins, because when the ocean moves, it doesn't stay contained, it travels. The tsunami begins, invisible at first day tsunami, doesn't look like a giant wave at the start. It's not dramatic, it's not obvious. It's just energy moving through water, faster than most people can imagine. Across the open ocean, it can travel as fast as a jet, and no one on the shore can see it coming until it's too close. The warning window. Seconds versus survival in some areas. There are warning systems, sirens. Alerts must mocks, but warnings don't guarantee safety because time is limited. Minutes, sometimes less. And in that short window, people have to make decisions. Run, stay, help others, save belongings. Every second counts, and hesitation can cost everything. When the water arrives at first, it doesn't look like destruction. The water pulls back, the shoreline retreats, exposing parts of the ocean floor that were never meant to be seen. And for a moment, people are confused, curious, some even move closer. And that's when it happens, the water returns. Not as a wave, but as a force, a wall of moving energy. Relentless, it doesn't crash like in movies. It pushes, it floods, it consumes. Everything in its path is taken. Homes collapse. Structures versus nature buildings are designed to stand. But not all are designed for this. The earthquake weakens them. The water finishes the job. Walls crack under pressure. Foundations shift. Roofs collapse. Entire homes reduced to debris within moments. And for the people inside, there is no time to think, only to survive. 1,966 lives disrupted. The human reality numbers don't show emotion, but they represent it. 1,966 people displaced, 1,966 stories. Families forced out, homes lost, lives interrupted, people standing outside, watching what used to be their life disappear. And in that moment, everything changes, because displacement is not temporary. It stays with you long after the disaster ends. Aftershocks, the fear that doesn't leave even after the main quake. The earth doesn't settle immediately. Aftershocks begin. Smaller tremors, but enough to shake confidence, enough to keep people outside. Sleeping in open areas, avoiding buildings, because once trust is broken, it doesn't come back easily. The sound of disaster earthquakes are not silent. They have a sound, a deep rumble, a vibration you feel before you fully understand it. And when structures collapse, that sound becomes louder. Concrete breaking, wood snapping, metal bending. It's a sound people never forget. Emergency response. Race against time rescue teams move in, not slowly, but urgently, because time matters. Every second can mean the difference between rescue and loss. Beach operations begin. Voices call out, teams listen, hoping to hear something, anything, from beneath the debris. Why Indonesia faces this again and again, Indonesia is not unlucky. It's positioned right on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region where the Earth is constantly active, where plates collide, where energy builds, and where release is inevitable. This is not a one-time event, it's a pattern. The illusion of safety after the shaking stops. Life tries to return to normal. People go back, clean up, rebuild. But something has changed, a realization that safety is not permanent. That stability is temporary. That control was never really there. The emotional weight disasters don't end when the ground stops shaking. They continue in the minds of the people. Fear of the next tremor, fear of sleeping indoors, fear of losing everything again. And that fear is invisible but powerful. The global reminder this is not just Indonesia. This is Earth. The same forces exist everywhere. Different locations, same mechanics. And at any moment, pressure can release. Final buildup. The calm after chaos right now. Things look calm. The water has receded. The shaking has stopped. The sky looks normal, but beneath all of that, nothing has truly stopped. The plates are still moving. The system is still active. The pressure is still building somewhere. Final ending, unforgettable line, because the most dangerous part of an earthquake is not the moment it happens. It's the moment after, when everything looks normal again, but the earth beneath you is still deciding when to move next.